Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for your patience. How is everybody today? And can you hear me and see me okay? So that would be the first question that I always like to ask. And also, Brandon, can you hear Brandon? Hello, Brandon.
Hello. Hopefully can everybody hear me just well.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure my volume is up. Okay, talk in. Say something again.
Oh, hello.
Oh, that's better.
Testing.
Okay. Okay. I had my iPad a little low. So how is everybody today? It's good to see everybody. Thank you. Hi, CATHRYN. Okay. So how is everybody's week been? Because I know that there is a lot of crazy energy. We had like new moon going into Scorpio. This is really right now is really like an energetic time of, I feel like, releasing and just allowing. I think that we get so caught up in what we're experiencing on the 3D realm that it gets us into a place of confusion. It gets us into a place sometimes of like panic. It gets us into this place of like, are things truly manifesting? And what was it that we were just talking about, Brandon? Expansion of the unknown, right?
Emotional expansion into the unknown, particularly emotions. I think, anytime that the moon is in a water sign, it's always highlighting emotions, right? And obviously that happens, every 6 days or so that we get into a water sign. But like you said, the new moon in Scorpio, that's definitely a good moment of really looking into what is in the depth of your own emotional well, so to speak. But also, that's a good time to plant and bury deep seeds,
Yes. Jenna just commented she liked my mug, and it's like I actually got it in Disneyland or at SeaWorld, I think it was, and it's like penguins. So this was when I was in California, and I picked it up, and it's like my favorite mug. So it's my SeaWorld penguin mug.
I almost bought an orca one myself.
Yeah. I was so tempted. I bought a couple of them, and I was like, no, I don't like sharks. I'm never drinking out of a shark mug because that's my one phobia. Is like, it's funny because I don't know how many people know about my personal pets, but I have like 2 dogs, 2 cats, and I have 2 snakes. And maybe one day there'll be guests on here unless people are really scared of them. But so I have a 9-foot boa constrictor, and I also have like a 4-foot python. And I'm not scared of anything. Like when it comes to animals, I love animals. I love everything except for sharks. And I see a shark and I go into like this absolute like hyperventilation. So, you give me a tarantula, you put a scorpion on my hand, I'm good. I'm cool. I'll keep it as a pet, whatever. But you see a shark, and yes, snakes are so cute. I love my snakes. My snakes are my children, kind of like additions to Brandon knows how we'll be talking, and I'll be like, oh, my baby, look at my baby snake. So weird.
It's so funny because snakes and sharks are very similar as far as like their consciousness, their level of consciousness. Like if you look at the eyes are the best way to tell an animal's nature of consciousness. So like snakes and sharks have they have like the fully black eye, right? It's completely blackened out. So they're, they've got just that reptilian animal instinct brain. They don't really cognize anything beyond those own animalistic natures. So it's interesting that you have that fear with sharks but not with the snakes. So it's not about the animal, it's probably about the environment, right?
It's
like the water.
It's the water. Like even getting into like the unknown of the water, which is interesting because that's kind of what we're talking about, is that expansion of consciousness of the unknown.
Yep.
Right. But for me, it's it's like not knowing. It's like that. Maybe I have some sort of control issue. I don't I don't know. But I get into the water and I just and I think it was Denise. I was just reading the chat and she said, she was saying maybe I got eaten by a shark in a past life. And here's the thing, Denise, it's really weird because I have 2 birthmarks, and one is here and one is sort of on my chest somewhere, which I won't mention, but they're literally boats. They have the shape of a boat, which is really bizarre. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but that one there, it's not as dark as it used to be, but it literally looks like a boat, and it's so bizarre. So you're kind of like, oh, maybe there's some truth in that. And Jenna was saying, did Brandon and I go to SeaWorld together? No. I went with my son years ago, like in 2015 we went. Love to meet Brandon someday, but
that would be a fun trip though,
right? Totally yeah get it would be hilarious. Like we wanted to go to Florida this year, but that Rona stopped us, so we're just like, my son and I were actually talking about that. We wanted to go, and and I love SeaWorld. And it's funny because Polly Free just said the shark tunnel. I actually posted on my Facebook page because that's exactly it. I have such a shark fear. And I was like, I'm going to go into the shark tunnel to try to overcome some of my fears. And I walked in and I could feel like that fear rising. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this, and my son the whole time was like, oh, Mom, like, and then he went and stuck his head into a great big shark jaw that they had on display. And I was like having a panic attack then. And it was just like, it's ridiculous hyperventilation that I go through. And then sharks give If I refresh, does it help? Or does it cut my connection? Oh, no. Okay, it looks like I might be back. Are we back, guys? Can you see us?
Okay, let's see. I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, CATHRYN just gave us the thumbs up. So I'm going to assume that we're good. If everybody can hear, just refresh your screen. It should come back up. Is it working for you, Brandon? Oh, okay. Jenna says it's good now. Can you hear me okay? Brandon? Okay. Can you see Denise as well, or is it just voice? I seem to have lost Brandon. Oh, okay. Oh no, there you are. Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
There we go. Okay. Yes.
Okay, good.
Now I finally hear continuous.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Can you hear me now? I feel like a Sprint commercial. Yep. Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, Polly Free was saying that's exactly why he went through it too. How do you fight something that will drown and bite you? That's exactly it. Like, that's the thing, right? Is like you have that fear of like there's no control over something like a shark. Like, what the hell do you do? Like, I don't know. So
be one with the shark. Remember, all animals operate subconsciously. If you tap into your own subconscious, you can communicate.
I would have a heart attack, Brandon, before that even.
Don't you kind of communicate with your snake?
I do. And that's the weird thing, is because I know that he picks up on some of my thoughts or emotions. Like, I'm not thinking, like, I know he's not cognitively thinking, oh, right. Hey, there's my owner, I'm going to communicate with her. But I know, okay, so here's the weird thing, you guys, this is going to kind of blow you away. So the night of the election, the night of the election, and a couple of days afterwards, he was losing his mind in his cage. And I feel like it was just universal energy that was going on, like coming in from all over, like a consciousness. And he was all over his cage, up and down, and he was like poking in the corners, and he was trying to get out. And I've never seen him behave like that. And he's usually pretty docile, you know, and doesn't really do a whole lot, to be honest. But the last, you know, and even throughout this week, he's been way more active than usual. So you can tell that there's a lot of conscious energy that is going around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of wild actually to watch him. And he can be very interactive. There's times where you go down and I'll go up to his cage, and he'll be like, he's got 2 levels. So he'll have the top level and the bottom level. And when he sees me go to his door, he'll come right down and he'll put his face like right here outside the glass. I don't want to open the glass because who knows what mood he's in, and I might be calling 911 because I got a snake 9-foot boa attached to my nose or something like that. But yeah, you know, he'll come right up to the glass, and he's just like, you know, hey, how's it going? What you doing? You know, it's
so interesting. I think there is that sort of psychic or telepathic communication that happens with animals. Like, I used to go to the park, and I would just put up my hand in the middle of the woods, like on the trail, and birds would land on my hands like all the time in this one little part. It was the coolest thing. It was so cool. Just little wild birds. I just held out my hand out there, or sometimes I put little seeds out or something.
Yeah.
And they would just land right on my hand. It was the most magical experience to me. I was blown away. And this wasn't like some zoological thing. This was just a random, park in the middle of Western New York. Like it was completely random, and it was just so beautiful. One of my favorite spots.
I love it when animals, especially when they're wild, or what is supposed to be that wild, that non-domesticated, type of creature that, I remember this wasn't that long ago. This was just a few months ago. I had gone to the store, and on my way back, I was, as I was pulling into my neighborhood, there was a lady, and I saw her with like this cardboard box, and she had these gloves on, and there was this big black raven in front of her. And I was like, okay, I just feel like I need to stop and figure out what the hell this woman is doing, right? And I said to her, what's going on? And she goes, well, I can't, this bird looks like his wing is broken, or he looks like he can't fly. So I thought I would take him into, the Humane Society. And I was like, oh, well, do you need some help? Right. Because there was 2 other crows in the tree, and they were just like squawking away and losing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
And this other bird was just like sitting there, and he kind of looked like he was a little bit injured or something. And I said, well, I'm happy to help. And she's like, are you scared of him? Because he keeps wanting to bite me. And I said, nah, I don't care. Like, I have a snake, so I don't give a shit. I've been bit by worse, I'm sure. Right. And so I put on her gloves, and, I went to go, get close to this bird, and he just sat there, and he didn't hop away. He wasn't squawking or anything. And the other 2 birds, the weird thing is that they stopped squawking. And I went up to him, and I was able to pet him. So I had the gloves on, but I was able to like pet his back. And all of a sudden he went hop, 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 and he just flew away. And I was like, holy crap. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah. And it was weird because, she had been trying to catch him for a little while now, or, try to get close to him. And he just let me go right up to him. And, I find that a lot of times, like, I'll go, if I'm seeing people in the parks and stuff like that, it's like, I just want to hug their dog, and their dogs will like come right up. And, or stray cats and all kinds of stuff. Like I tell you, we've had a few strays throughout my life. So I take pretty much any animal home for the most part. I should be living on an acreage or a farm or something. I swear to God.
You need a farm.
Yeah.
You need a farm where you can have every animal.
Yeah. Or like somewhere that, because I just have this, it was funny. I went over to a friend's last night, and every time I've gone over there, I'll go get my nails done. She's my nail tech, and we do the socially distancing, service, I guess. And the last few times, like when I go over there, she's got this cute little chihuahua, and you know, sometimes he'll like want to be around me, but sometimes he barks. Like if you go to pet him, he'll freak out and he starts shaking and shivering and all of this stuff. I went over there yesterday, and this dog, I could not, like, I had to literally carry him like a baby freaking everywhere. It was so wild. It was, and she said, she messaged me afterwards and she says, you know, after you left, he actually sat at the door for like an hour waiting for you to come back. So I was just like, oh my God, I just love him. So yeah.
That's so cute.
So Polly Free says, I was hunting last year in Manitoba. A bear came out to it. Oh my gosh. It tried to come to my favorite with no remorse. We had to protect ourselves. It ended up having green eyes. Holy cow. An elder said it was a spirit bear. Yeah. Yeah. I have heard of things like that. I have. And that must have been such an experience.
One of my favorite books, Touching Spirit Bear. Oh, I read that when I was really young and it hit me so hard. I think I even still have it to this day. It's such a beautiful book. But there is something powerful about bears that they just, I don't know. There's something very magical and powerful about them.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
We were just talking about this because we were watching. Have you heard that movie, The Golden Compass?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Well, they have this new series called His Dark Materials, like an HBO series.
Okay, I started watching, I think that. I did watch part of that. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. But just the whole concept of having like an animal, as they call him, a daemon, in the books, attached to like your soul. Oh, it just hits me so hard. Yeah. I love that concept. I find that so beautiful. I mean, don't you feel that way already, even talking about this? Like a certain kinship with animals and how they're just attached to you. Like there really is something magical about that concept. I would love to live in that world.
I would like, so cool. You know, I would love to hear from people in the chat. What animal do you feel is like you have that kinship with? Is there
like your current spirit
I'd love
animal.
To hear that because I don't know, you know, I know with me, it's, you know, it has always been kind of cats, you know, but I really do feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I know it sounds so crazy because my snake is, I just feel that with that reptile, like it's more of a recent, I guess. It's not that I never not liked reptiles before. I just never really owned them or had that opportunity with it or anything like that. But I really feel that kinship with it. Right. And Denise is saying, if my dogs hear my voice, they'll tap their way into the house to find it. Right. Like you just know, like when you have that, that bond, it just, I don't know, it just expands it expands your consciousness so strongly. Yes. Right?
Yes.
And I love that energy. And you know, even like as Polly Free was saying with that bear, I mean, to have that bear have that ability to come to you and present itself in some way, I think that is such a magical experience. I really do. Like how, you know, very, very few people have that opportunity to be, I'm actually getting chills. I have that opportunity to have that presentation brought to them. And I think that's amazing.
Denise, you and I are right in line with the bees. That's why I go by Bee House, just because. I love bees though. They're so magical. They turn lead into gold. I mean, they're amazing creatures. And the bumblebees, they don't even fly. They levitate. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. You know what?
Billy the bee.
You know it's funny. A few years back when I really kind of started getting into like, I guess, a more spiritual journey for myself, I I had such a fear of bees and wasps. In fact, I used to be a gymnast. So back when I was like younger, you know, before like into my early teens and stuff, I used to do gymnastics quite often, like on a regular basis. I never competed or anything like that, but I was pretty good. And I was on the balancing beam, and this bee flew into my face, and I fell off, and I ended up spraining my ankle so bad that I couldn't do it again. Like I couldn't go back to gymnastics because my ankle was just so weak after that. So I was always terrified of bees. I was always like, I was that person. If there was a bee, like I'm 4 blocks away, I'm running, right? Or a wasp. And once I started that more spiritual, in-depth journey, bees, I like, they don't scare me. Even the wasps, like I mean, I don't want them following me or landing on me, obviously, but I'm not scared of them. I've lost that fear. And it was just, I was able to do that connection in some way with them, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something about bees specifically that I think everybody has an innate fear of them, especially if they're younger. I think the first time I ever got stung, it was like an underground hornet, and I was on the playground. It was like my first day of 3rd grade or something, and I got stung right on the leg. So it was a definite frustrating sting, because those underground hornets those are jerks.
Yeah, no kidding. It looks like it may be buffering again. I'm not sure. Oh,
I'm okay here.
Okay, good.
Everybody just try and refresh, because I think some people are behind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Polyfree is saying the elk. I've had some very spooky experiences with stray cats, and would follow me to school as elk are beautiful. Same with Denise. I love this. She accidentally kidnapped a bee one time. I think that's awesome. But
Billy the bee.
You gotta love it. So but yeah, I mean, expanding your consciousness into the unknown. And that's sort of the beautiful thing about animals, is because of the fact, like you were saying, Brandon, you know, if you tap into your subconscious, if you tap into that higher power, maybe there is some way to communicate with some of these, you know, creatures. Like, you know, again, I don't know. I mean, I would have to be in a place like SeaWorld where I felt very safe in order to even try that, because I think in the water I would literally just have a heart attack, and that'd be the end of that.
Well, come with me, because you can stay right on the edge and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that maybe I would.
Except, so I don't expect you to come freebase swimming with me up in Norway in the ocean with the orcas, right?
No. That I'm gonna go with that would be.
You want to watch from the boat?
I would be in the boat. I would be in the boat, in the corner,
in the boat. Okay.
Underneath a tarp. No, you know what? Probably the first few minutes I would be terrified.
Around you.
Yeah, and then I would probably open up and allow myself to, you know, experience. I'm not scared of orcas. I'm not scared of dolphins. It is literally that shark. And I think it's those dead eyes, like we were talking about. Yeah. It's the dead eyes, because
it's scary.
You can't, like, you know that orcas can, you know that they have a consciousness where they can communicate to some degree with humans. You know that dolphins have that ability as well. You know, dolphins they say that they're even probably smarter than humans to some degree. But sharks are there's nothing like, you know, there's no cognitive thought going on. So how do you argue with a shark? It's like, no, just don't bite me today. No, you can't do that, right?
That's just pure instinct.
That's pure instinct. And that's where I would be, you know, yeah, they're kind of dumb. Exactly like Denise said. I don't think I would do. I have a friend that does you know, deep sea diving, and that is something that I think I have a huge admiration for, you know, to be able to do that. I really do. Would I be in the boat? For sure. Would I go in the water? No. You know, but that wouldn't ruin from my experience at all. It would just that would just be maybe in a really huge, massive shark cage made of titanium.
Kryptonite.
Yeah. Angel
From
wing
Zeus's
steel or
sword
something.
himself.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh,
Need
and
Poseidon's cage.
that would maybe then, and with like the entire army inside of the cage.
Oh, you're an
with
organite.
Yeah.
Everything.
Organite.
Some sage. Just bring some sage
Oh
with
my
you.
God.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Steel, some sort of dive suit made out of, I don't know, poison or something. I have no idea. I just wouldn't. William is saying recently birds has been flying into the path.
Ooh, I love when that happens.
Mhm.
Birds are so beautiful. They have such a sweet little spirit. And when they fly in your path, there's always like I always find that birds represent a lot of like thoughts or communication, a lot of quick thinking.
Yeah.
Or jumping to ideas, new ideas. And honestly, the other obvious part is birds force you to look up, right?
Mm-hmm.
They force you to look up and stop looking down at the ground all the time.
Absolutely. Very crown chakra type of energy, isn't it?
Yes.
Polyfree just said they eat sharks. Orcas do eat sharks. You gotta love that. That's
exactly. See, nothing to be scared of with the killer whales.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't know. I was just reading here. Primitive brain.
What else is everybody's? What do you feel your current spirit animal is at this time? I'd have to say mine feels like I want to say killer whale, but I probably am leaning more towards like a dolphin, the way that I feel and the way that I am and currently engaged. No, you know what? I will say killer whale because I'm a little bit more distant from people. I'm staying in my own pod, if you will. I'm not extremely social right now in my environment. I definitely feel like I've got that killer whale vibe where I'm just kind of diving to the depths of the ocean with my own little group, my own little pod.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say you're part of my pod, Kathy.
Aww,
I'd say some people in the chat too are part of my little pod right now. Yeah.
It's like being able to build that conscious connection. You don't know why, but you do feel that strength, being able to be drawn to that energy and being allowed that energy of just the unknown, but also just being able to connect with those people for whatever reason it is. Jenna was asking, how do we know what our spirit animal is? Here's the thing, Jenna. I feel that our spirit animals really do show up. It's almost like that connection that we have with them, or that connection that we have. This could be like a lifetime thing. And I mean, here's the thing also is that our spirit animals can change as we're going through different, I want to say evolutions throughout our life. Sometimes we'll be sitting there, we might be asking for a sign, or maybe we're wondering about a particular issue or a particular topic, or maybe we're stressed about something or anxious or whatever. Pay attention to what shows up, whether this is within the outside world, or maybe perhaps even, sometimes like an animal can just show up on like our news feed, or, our Facebook feed, or all of a sudden, you might start seeing animals in commercials, all of the same. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll literally just Google them, because I don't know all of the, the meanings for every spirit animal. That would be kind of crazy. But I, for me personally, is I will just literally just Google that and see what resonates with me at the time.
I want to tell the listeners, if they are doing something similar, because I do this as well, but I want to tell the listeners to look up a specific phrase when that happens. Because there's a lot of sources out there, and it's hard to figure out which one is right and what's giving you the right information. I mean, I've stumbled on websites where they say like almost the exact same thing for every animal that crosses your path. I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel right to me. There's like, I don't know, I'm not going to call it any sites right now, but when you're looking for these terms, so for example, what happened to me a lot, there was like a year or 2 years where praying mantises came to me all the time. They were all over the place. And so what I would search for because I believe in Native American or shamanic practice being much better connected with animals and land.
Right.
I'll search for praying mantis spirit medicine. So when you say spirit medicine, a lot of shamans see the animals as medicinal, right? That things have a medicinal value to yourself. So when you search for animals like that do cross your path in a significant way, search for spirit medicine and then the name of the animal, because you'll yield a lot better results, things that are more connected to the land.
Yeah.
And people that are more connected to the land. It's a better way to look that up, because there's just, there's a lot of BS information out there, like we have seen this whole year, this whole past 5 years even. There's lots of bad information out there. We just want to get y'all to the right places.
Yeah. Just thank you, Polly. For yeah. No, one day, so I was doing one of my weekly videos, and I found this to be wild. I was doing I think it was for Aquarius, actually, which was my sign. And all of a sudden, this is the middle of winter here. Well, it's not the middle of winter, but that's another few months away. But I've got half a foot of snow outside. It's not that warm. And all of a sudden, this ladybug appeared on my curtain here. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was so perfect for the message that was actually coming out. And I was like, holy cow, like where did this ladybug even come from? Because I haven't seen one really all summer. I hadn't seen one in my house. It's not like ladybugs just appear in your home in the middle of winter all the time. And I found it was just absolutely so beautiful. And I was like, okay, this for me was some sort of spiritual meaning. And I felt that it was very connected to what it was that I was talking about in that particular video. And I absolutely loved it. So, but I'm just reading here.
I think maybe if we're getting some questions today and we're connecting to some listeners, maybe we'll see if we can feel out if there's a specific animal that we feel in connection to them. Maybe something that'll bring them a space of illumination or understanding for themselves.
Yeah, I would love that. Let's do that. We could probably start building up the chat.
Before we do,
oh yes,
I just want to update some people on some things that we're planning and what we're doing. First of all, where are we with the Organite crystal giveaway?
So I am making the Organite. So this week I got kind of crazy busy. I'm renovating a bedroom. I think I had mentioned that. I don't know if I did. Maybe I did last week. I can't remember. So I'm renovating a room. So like making it more of a YouTube studio. Because right now I am literally stuck in a corner with like no room around me. You can kind of tell, but so I'm renovating a room and I've been doing that. And I've also been just, doing some other stuff here. So the Organite is being made. Now, what I was actually thinking about is what I'd really like to do is put it out as a, when I get to maybe 500 subscribers, as a, a thank you, I guess. What I was thinking is maybe about doing a contest. Okay. And so for those of you that do share the videos, perhaps like to Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, not YouTube, Facebook, that sort of thing. I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll, just send me a picture of the share. You can send it to, I'm going to say, my Instagram page, which is Oracle_Intuitions. Send me a picture of that. And if for every share, your name goes into a draw. And then at the end of, I'm going to say like what's the date today? Today is
the 21st.
The 21st. So let's say by December 1st. Wait a minute. I want to see where the next Saturday is around there because I don't have any idea.
So we have the 28th.
Okay. So for the next week, let's just do that. For the next week. So every time like you share, my channel, or a particular video or whatever, take a screenshot, send it to me on my, it's Oracle_Intuitions on Instagram. It's also in the description box here, you know, on this video. And we will do a draw, and we'll do the draw next. Was that the 28th? That's 2 weeks from now, right? Oh no, today's the 21st. So next Saturday we will do the draw, and then that way we can get it sent out, you know, for the beginning of December there. And I think that would be the way to do it. I was going to wait until, you know, I get a certain amount of subscribers, but honestly, I mean, you know, that's not, no, you know what, if you can't message me through Instagram, you can send it to me on Facebook as well, like through my messenger as well. I was just figuring Instagram is, you know, some people don't have Facebook. So whatever avenue is better for you, if you want to send it through Facebook, that's fine, on my Facebook page at Oracle Intuitions, and we'll put that all, and then we'll do the draw next Saturday live. I think that would be a really good way to do it.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
So I just reiterated in the chat here, so that way everybody is able to see. So what you can do is, are you going to be selecting at random, or how are you going to choose the winner? So
every time you share either my channel or, you know, maybe one particular video, whatever it is, just like I said, just take a screenshot. I'm going to write the name down. We're going to put it into, I'll put a jar of some sort, and it will be a random draw. But the more times that you share, the more times your name goes into the jar. So like for every share, I will put the name in. So if you share it like 10 times, you're going to have 10 different names. You're going to have your name in there 10 times. So it kind of brings up your chances.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was just, sorry. Oh, and I just wanted to let people know. So with the Organites, you know, oh, I just dropped you, Brandon. Hang on a second.
Ow.
Did that hurt?
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry, Muffin. Take an aspirin, you'll be okay. No. There's no gashes. I'm looking. You're good. No, I'm just teasing. I'm so sorry. I moved my chair and I had you plugged in, and all of a sudden it just went down. So the Organites, the average cost for them is it takes, like, for one of the bigger ones. Let me see if I find a really, really big one. So these ones here are about 85. Okay. And this is about the size that I'm going to be making. It's going to be beautiful. It's got gold. I've already got the white quartz in it. So it's already been started. It has a few layers, but it does take me about a week to fully create, simply because they need to cure for about 3 days. These bigger ones here are about 120, Canadian. So, they are going to be, like, they do have a lot of effort in them. Is basically what I'm saying. So thank you, Jason.
It's kind of cool. You're literally building it to the cycle of the moon. You started on the new moon, you build. Yeah. And then it'll be a full moon by, I think, next week, or by the time at least the winner gets it. How perfect.
I think it will be perfect for them. And, I'm really excited. And then what will happen is, whoever the winner is, they can just send me as long as they don't mind, of course, because, no other way to receive it, really. You'll just have to, we'll message you privately, and you can give me the address and everything like that to send them to. Yeah. What's that?
Unless they're taking a trip to you in Canada.
Yeah. Just hand it out the door. Here you go.
Although, are the borders even open right now?
No, they're not. I know ours are closed until at least, I think it's December 21st or something. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. So we got a ways to go.
Time. I do want to mention here real quick. So if y'all see my links here in the description below, I'm going to be doing a video. Kathy and I were just talking about this. I was telling her what I'm doing, so I'll be creating it today. A lot of people are probably aware of what's happening in the United States and with the election and stuff. And there is one person, and I am just psychically drawn here. And what Spirit keeps telling me is that the fate of the world rests on one person right now. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a natal chart, zodiac analyzation of this person's chart, and I will be posting that up hopefully tonight. So if you guys are seeing my link, subscribe if you do want to see that. It's going to be very interesting. Like I said,
I'm excited to watch this. So yeah,
this person is they very, very clearly have the weight of the world on their shoulders, and it's interesting because they're not really getting press, they're not getting attention, and I just I'm a big fan of the underdog. You know, I enjoy the underdog story a lot, even though this isn't a story, this is reality.
yeah.
well, I mean, so as far as we know, we could be living in a simulation. We have no idea. But I will be doing that. So Kathy nicely put my link in the description there. If you want to see that.
And guys, honestly, his videos are so good. So definitely, you know, catch them. And I think you're going to absolutely love it. I think I'm really looking forward to this because I know I'm going to be waiting to see the pop-up of it, like the, you know, Brandon posted a video.
Ding,
I'll be like,
notification.
Okay. Right there. So I just wanted to run over a couple of the rules, you know, restrictions for live chat today. So one of the things that I know I mentioned before is you know, you do have to be a subscriber. Okay. One of the things I'm going to ask of people, this is really important, is that, you know, it's about the subscribing and unsubscribing, because I've noticed that, you know, if you're subscribing to get the reading, but then unsubscribing, what happens is it does show up in the YouTube algorithm. Okay. And here's the thing is it's not only, kind of, I'm not going to say like a negative strike, but the algorithm does take a serious look at that. And for us, for Brandon and I to be going out there and doing what we do, it is an energy exchange. Okay. And so when we're asking for just a subscription, it's truly appreciated simply because of the fact that this does take energy, you know, and we want to be able to be there and help people truly as much as possible. But what happens is when you unsubscribe, like if you subscribe and unsubscribe, it does play with that algorithm. And so YouTube is going to look and they're going to go, well, why is this happening? What is going on with this? But it not only affects my channel, but it really truly does affect your algorithm as well. So if you're trying to build up your own channel, or if you're trying to put energy into something of your own, you're going to start noticing that YouTube is going to maybe not promote your videos. Okay. When we have those subscribers and people subscribe, YouTube takes that algorithm and it throws it out there to some degree, and it allows the video to be shown more in order to get more subscribers. And in fact, one of my videos this week, I went from like 20 or 30 views up to like almost 400 views. So that's what that algorithm does. And for me, that helps bring me those subscribers. And it also helps me to be able to do more of these videos. Some of the other restrictions that we do have is, please no health readings. Okay. Like there's very limited health readings. I'm not going to diagnose anybody. We're not doctors. No legal questions, because again, you know, that's something that we truly can't take a look at. I would prefer to do no third party readings, because, you know, there's some with the energy that we can look into, but I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't want somebody spying on me, right? Or being a fly on the wall and talking about somebody else's, you know, relationship or conversation or whatever it is. We can look at it as towards the energy, how it relates to you in some way, but we're not spies on the wall. Like we're not going to go into that energy. Anything else, Brandon?
Well, the other thing about that whole thing is just think about the karma. You know, people think that it's relatively innocuous to look into where somebody is and what they're doing and what they're thinking. But you need to look into that karma, because the more that you do that, the more that you are letting somebody else influence somebody's energy. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're seen as somebody who, you know, does things who, you know, that is shady or something like that. And then that person somehow instinctively or subconsciously doesn't trust you. So you just have to take note of that. It's like, it's that old cliche, be careful what you wish for, you know? Yeah, you might want to know, but you could be pushing that person or situation further and further from yourself. So just be very wise in what you ask, you know? So and that's all that we're asking here.
It also goes to the consciousness evolution of the unknown. Here's the thing. If you're in an energy, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say you're in that energy of, you know, relationships, for instance, and you want to know, let's say you're interested in somebody who's with somebody else. That knowing what is going on within that relationship, again, is not only karmically, I don't want to get involved in that, you know, personally, right? But, you know, unless it, again, how it relates to you to some degree. But here's the thing is that when we are in that place of that unknown, that is when our vibration goes up higher. If we're sitting there and we're watching everything, or if we know everything that is going on within that particular relationship, we're not opening up ourselves to that unknown of the things that we should be focusing in on for ourselves. If we're in this place of negativity, how are we going to be positive? Or how, if we're in a place of where we think that maybe things aren't, you know, in such a good place with that person, we can also, it can drive our ego to a place that we're not allowing positive things to come through. Okay. I hope that that makes sense, but it is something that, you know, if we think that a relationship is going great, you know, how it's not involved with us, it can bring our own vibrational sense down to a level where we're not allowing things to create a change or to create a positive vibration in order to bring it to us. And again, just karmically, it's just not something that is, it's very difficult, you know, karmically to do, because again, I wouldn't want to be spied on personally, you know, and I'm sure Brandon wouldn't, and I'm sure nobody else would, right? That's a level of, again, how it relates to you is fine, but how it's, you know, another couple or another, you know, two people, that's just not our, it's not something that I personally like to do. So I think, yeah.
Well, let's see. Spirit kept telling me emotional expansion into unknown over and over. So I'll be interested to see if that is the vibration of these readings today.
Yeah. Denise was just saying if it has nothing to do with me, I don't want it. Yeah, exactly. Like it's sort of like, you know, okay, so I'm just going to give, as we're kind of building up maybe the chat list, you know, and we can start opening that up a little bit, or the question list, I guess. Here's an example of that. Have you ever had anyone tell you a story or tell you something about an experience, but they're now bringing in, you know, their aunt, their uncle, their dog, the uncle's third cousin 4 times removed, and they're telling you a story about this person that you don't know, and it's a negative story. Really what it's doing is it's bringing your energy into a place of something that it's not within your field. You don't need to know about, you know, this person's uncle's dog's 4th cousin. How does that relate to you? How does that come into your energy field or your aura? It doesn't. And when we're focusing in on that, it's kind of like gossip, right? When we're sitting there paying attention to gossip, it's really not within our realm to be absorbing or to be accepting or even to really be opening up to. We don't need to be within that energy. It's like, you know, I used to have a friend that would do that. And I would say, look, you know what, if it's relating to you, I would love to hear it, because I'm here to, you know, I'm your friend. I don't care about your neighbor's bird, you know, or whatever it is, or your bird's uncle's friend's family. Like, I truly don't care. That has nothing to do with me. Let's have a conversation, that one-on-one, that is involving us. And that's how we bring our awareness up. And that's how we bring our expansion to a separate place. So that's probably the best way to explain it.
think it's a beautiful, cohesive way. Thank you. I'm glad that you got that out for.
What's that?
For everybody to see.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, you know, there's been times where I've listened to stuff and I'm just like, this has nothing to do with me. It's not making me feel good. It's not making me, it's not, all it's doing is it's really sticking me in an energy that has nothing to do with my own personal vibration or my own personal evolution or my own personal, you know, experience. It's sticking me in somebody else's that I don't even know. And I personally really, truly don't care about. Like, I don't know this person. I'm sad for them or I'm happy for them, whatever it is, but it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me, or it has nothing to do with those people that I truly care about, you know, and that's where we start to learn that expansion. There's nothing I can get from the pain of words leaving your mouth. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful. I love that, Denise. Thank you.
That?
Yeah. So outside the box, just make sure that you are subscribed, and also make sure that you don't unsubscribe, because we just talked about that with the YouTube algorithm. So yeah. What would be the first question?
All right. So first is going to be Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
Will wishing Caleb a happy Thanksgiving help manifest the reconciliation we saw? It's still happening in December, right? I'm a Virgo. He's a Libra.
I feel like you could say happy Thanksgiving. Here is where we're going to go with that. And I feel like this is going to be super important. Okay. This is the first thing that is coming through, Jenna. If you are to send that out, absolutely you can do so. What I am getting, though, is you have to send it out without expectation. All right. And that's going to be extremely important. You need to send it from a place of not being within ego. You need to send it within a place of not expecting a return result. And that doesn't mean you won't get a return result, but it means that you have to send it without that return expectation coming from it. And that's what I feel. I feel like sending it, you know, saying happy Thanksgiving, letting it be, letting it sit within that energy, and not watching your phone, waiting for that return is going to be super important. So if you can send it within that energy, absolutely do so. So now, I just have to cough. Sorry. I feel like if you were to take 5 or 10 minutes before you actually sent the text or press the send on the text, and really get into that energy of joy and love, of that unconditional love, that place of truly wanting this person to have a good day, truly wanting them to, you know, look at that message in a place of happiness, but maybe perhaps not responding. I feel like this is going to be good. If you send it with that sense of ego behind it, wanting the response or waiting to see what they're doing or trying to build up a deeper conversation with them, I feel like that energy because I do feel, here's the thing with you and Caleb, I feel a very strong energy bond between the two of you. Okay, you guys have this energy cord between the two of you that you can feel these, you know, when the ego comes through, or when you're genuinely coming from that place of love, or whatever it is, you both have that ability to truly feel each other, even if you're not quite knowing where it's coming from. And so if you were to send it from a place that is not of pure intention, that can be felt on his side. So like I said, take a few minutes beforehand, before you press that send button, and get into that element of that unconditional loving feeling, and you will see you may not see a response, but you're going to feel that energy coming through. And it doesn't mean that he's not going to respond or that he will respond, but I feel the energy will change with your energy. So I hope that's helped, Jenna.
Jenna, I just keep getting a vision here. I'm in full agreement here with Kathy, you know, about the lack of expectation, because it doesn't allow things to be boxed in. But I'm getting a specific vision I just want to share that with you. I'm seeing two of you. Spirit shows me that it's dark, and it's like the night of Thanksgiving where everything is winding down, everything is quiet. There's like a relaxed energy and vibe kind of happening. And the way Spirit shows it to me, they show me like the covers are over your head, and you're like underneath your blankets, texting and typing. You're like in this little bubble, like this own little energy thing. So I feel like doing so maybe in the evening when everything might be a little bit settled is a really good time for reflection, right? At the end of Thanksgiving or holidays in general, we really just sit back and reflect like, wow, what has this year been? You know, what's coming up for the rest of the holidays if you do celebrate Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or anything. You know, what am I going to do for the rest of the holidays? It's a moment of reflection. So I would really think about doing that and sending that text towards the evening when things are kind of winding down. Because I feel a really nice energy generating from there.
I do too. I'm also getting to is that I almost feel like if you were to send it during the day or, you know, perhaps, you know, like in the morning or whatever it is, like I feel like a daytime energy coming through where if you were to send it, you're going to be like this. You're going to be watching. You're going to be watching. You're going to be watching. And what I keep getting from that is throughout that energy, because here's the thing, is that we take the 3D realm on a different level. And so when we're sending it out, and if we're watching the response or waiting for that response, or waiting for something as it, you know, we don't know what he's doing at that time, right? You don't know if he has his phone off. You don't know if he's with family. You don't know what is going on and why they're not maybe possibly responding, or maybe perhaps why they do send a response, but maybe it's short or whatever, you know, the energy is at that time. What I feel is very similar to what Brandon is saying, is like that lowering of that energy happening. And that's why I feel like Brandon was picking that up too. It just feels so, getting into that high vibration is what is coming through, right?
Yes, exactly. Not the high buzz of chaos, you know, and things happening all over, cooking and moving and walking and saying hello and greeting and all that. Not that kind of high energy,
right?
But a higher internal frequency of, oh, I feel in a much better energetic place. And again, for maybe those of you who are listening, this might help you. Look up David R. Hawkins' Consciousness Map. Ooh. That is a really great tool to use to figure out what is a good or higher frequency state of consciousness. It's a beautiful map. I highly recommend the book, Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins. That's where it came from. I am enthralled. Kathy, I am enthralled with this book and this study, and this man, he has dedicated his entire life to figuring out and studying consciousness. I'm gonna have to read that for sure. I'm in love. Well, maybe I'll send you a little Christmas present. Yeah. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, I love books like that. I love getting into them, and it sounds really interesting. You know, have you ever there was this book I read a long time ago. Have you ever read the Celestine Prophecies? I've read parts of it, not the whole thing. Wait, I read Oversoul 7. Is that part of it? Say that again. Oversoul 7, the teachings of Oversoul 7? No, I don't know. I don't think it was the same author. I could be wrong on that. This is about the 10 scrolls, and it really talks about our interactions with people, are raising our vibration, raising our consciousness. The book, they did make it a movie. I'm going to be honest. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Neither one were like, the movie wasn't like, some big blockbuster. I can tell you that much. It was, and some people have said, well, I've tried reading the book, but I can't get through it because it's not the most exciting. But the one thing I found is that every time I read it, it's like I almost feel as though I'm going into a higher vibration with myself. It's almost like, oh, I just learned something new, even though I've read the book probably, I don't even know how many times, but it's almost as though you're opening up a new scroll every time you read it. And it's such an amazing book. And
again, I don't know how much I'd recommend the movie because it's, you know, it's pretty bad, right? But but if you can, you know, if you're looking at the book as like, again, that raising of that consciousness or understanding. And it's interesting because I feel that a lot of the things that they talk about, especially within the ninth scroll, which I don't really want to talk about here, just simply because I'd rather you guys read it, you would find that there is that correlation in some way of, you know, exchange of energy and what it is that we're bringing through universally as well, is what I get.
I've been reading a lot lately. I don't know about you all, but I have really been engaged in reading. Something about it, it's pulling me to it. I don't know. I go through phases. Like I will go years without reading like a formal book. I read a bunch of stuff all the time, but then all of a sudden I'll just go through. I mean, I'm currently reading 3 different books at the same time right now. It's kind of ridiculous.
I do that all the time. I'll put one down and then I start something, but I do that with everything. So it's like I'm like, today I'm working on this, I'm working on that, I'm over here, I'm over there. Like, I don't know, ADH brain or something like that. I don't know. Jenna, I just wanted to say something because you were asking, do we still feel everything's on track? Yeah, I do. And that's why I feel like this is so important. Okay. So if you can't get into that energy, don't send a happy Thanksgiving. Let it be. You have to be within that energy because I do feel that that's going to be, you know, that change or that energetic vibration that I do feel coming through. I'm also getting here that you were asking, you know, you were saying that he looks unhappy in the photos. Let that be. Yes, he may. But here's the thing. At this point, it's not really your business as to why that is, but you have to have that faith that the more of that unconditional love you're sending to them, you may start seeing, like when somebody is feeling an energy within themselves, like, because what I get is there may be a missing you, missing that connection, maybe not, you know what I mean? And I feel like you need to let that be in order for it to more open up that channel between the two of you more, because I feel like the more happiness that you're sending him, the more unconditional love you're sending him, you're going to start to see that energetic change coming towards you. And that's what I get. So, yes. And yes, everything, I still feel everything is about the same, just no expectations. Okay. Remember, free will can change, you know, timelines. But this is what I'm getting in this current energy. It has stayed the same all the way through. So let's move on to the next one. And I hope that's helped, Jenna. I truly do. Big hugs.
All right. Thank you, Jenna, for your question. Let's move right into the next one. We've got a beautiful list here. So
nice.
We're going to go on to JJ next.
Okay.
JJ is asking, who's coming towards me in love? I just want to make a quick statement, right quick. Before we answer that, I do have something I am picking up, but I want to talk to our listeners about being in love. That is not we should all really reframe this in our brains, being in love. Let's not think of it as something with just you and one other person. Why don't we think of being in love as us being in the state of love? Because when we are, that's what we're going to continuously attract, right? If we're in a state of love, if we are in love, then of course, what matches that vibration will follow. So I just want to challenge our listeners to reframe their thinking about this. You know, oh my gosh, you know, I'm so in love with this person. Let that person be you first. And then watch how the world literally shapes itself around that belief around you. So I just want to reaffirm that for the listeners out there, that being in love, we should reframe that. Absolutely. But I think we know what you're talking about, JJ. I think you're talking about a romantic interest.
Go ahead. And see whatever you're picking up, go ahead.
I do pick up kind of right away. I am picking up on this sense of something new coming in. And the way that spirit shows it to me is they're showing me these childlike selves engaging. Anytime they show me this, they're referring to the soul or the spirit of the self. So they are indicating that there is a soul-to-soul connection coming into your life, JJ. They show me that it is something that you'll immediately feel a psychic and maybe even telepathic connection to and with. So I do feel like you are entering into a time in your life where you are going to connect with a soul mate. So I think, honestly, this piece of advice of being in that state would definitely resonate with where you need to be at this time, making sure that you are in a receptive state, because we can block soulmates. We can walk right past them.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in a bad mood, bad energy, we can walk right past one, and our soul could be making all sorts of dings and pings and signs and what have yous. And if we're in a bad energy, we're not going to be able to see that. So my advice is to absolutely be in that state of love. If you're not receptive, you might miss it. So be in that state for sure. And I feel like you are going to meet this person. I'll see if I can pick up on any details, but I'll let Kathy say what she feels or is picking up on now while I tap in to see what details of this person.
So, okay, it's funny because I felt like I needed to shuffle the cards, and you guys know I don't usually bring them, like I'll bring up them sometimes, as we're doing these, but it's interesting because it does talk about the key, new directions, new beginnings, adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. And I feel like that is extremely important. But we've also got the sun coming in. So it does say, exactly as Brandon just said, open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. So what I'm getting right away, what was coming through is, okay, I keep hearing two words. I keep hearing February. I don't know what February has to do with any. It might be even where you meet this person. It could even be involved in a person. I'm not getting direct details, but what I am getting, like, I don't get their, like, I age, color of hair, what all of that stuff. But I am getting that there is some energy around this that you do need to release. Okay, I do feel there is a hanging on. This may even have to do with a particular person in the hopes of somebody particular coming through. Now, that doesn't mean that this person particularly won't come through. I feel that needs to be released. It almost feels as though you are walking straight forward. What I keep feeling is like there is this, I'm trying to explain the vision that I'm getting through. It's almost as though you're walking forward with this beautiful energy flow. And as Brandon said, sometimes we can just miss that soul connection that is coming through because of the fact that we're not being alert or awake to it. I feel as though you need to remove the restrictions that are around you in regards to maybe a particular person, maybe a particular demographic of some sort, because what I'm getting here is it feels as though there's this energetic change that's about to head through. I keep hearing over and over and over in my head, February. And I feel like that between now and then is to really work on yourself. Just allow that releasing to come through. It doesn't mean that it won't be a particular person or that it won't be a particular energy, but I feel it's almost as though there's a grasp onto something from the past that you're trying to bring through, and that needs to be let go of. It needs to be released. And what I'm getting is, again, more going into that energetic field of this flow, because it's almost as though you're walking forward and it's almost like wind coming over you, like allowing it to surround you and bring forth what it is that you are seeking. And I also feel too is that you really need to get into this energetic space of only drawing in what it is that you want. Okay. In regards to the particular person themselves, like it doesn't mean a particular person, but that particular energy. I keep hearing stop wasting your time with things or people that are not resonating with you. And I hope that makes sense to you. It almost feels as though there is it's almost like if I'm not having this, I might seek this, you know, and I'm just going to give an example, and I don't want it to be, I don't feel like completely in relation to you, but I think it's a good example. What I feel is like sometimes we really truly want a particular person or maybe a particular energy. Okay. And it doesn't need to be that particular person, but let's say we know what it is that we want within our life. So it might be, you know, they got to be kind, caring, loving, committed, all of that stuff, faithful, yada, yada, yada. And then what we do is instead of focusing in on that energy, we'll go into another energy. So we might start chatting with somebody freaking random, or I've had clients that are like, yeah, but I'm on this dating site and I'm talking like 20 different people and I blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what, why? None of them are giving you the value of what it is that you're seeking. These are just, yeah, you know, like they're just things that you don't want, but so you're placing this focus and this time and energy on it. Why are you doing that when you know what it is that you want to have in your life? And here's the thing is that if you're wasting your time with somebody who's, you know, not putting that commitment towards you, it's like, you know, this person I'm talking to online has like 20 other people that they're talking to, then why are you wasting your freaking time with that person? That's not what you want. Focus in on what it is that you do want, you know, within that energy. It doesn't need to be a particular person, but that particular energy. Again, that kind, committed. Somebody who's talking to 20 different people is not committed. Done. So I hope that that makes sense. Okay. Because I feel like you have to remove your focus from what it is that you don't want and bring in what it is that you truly do want, and allow yourself to not get distracted by an energy that's not for you at this time, or what it is that you're truly seeking. So I hope that's helped.
Last thing I want to say here, and then we'll move on to Jessica. Jessica, let us know if you're in the chat still, so that way we can move on to you next. And outside the box, if you're still here, please submit your question. You are in the list after Jessica, so please submit your question in the chat so I can put you on the list, or we'll have to skip over you. So JJ, the one other thing I'm feeling is this. Spirit keeps showing me somebody who has a very very broad, very expansive presence. Someone who feels very warm and stable and secure, and maybe even their body is quite broad. But they keep showing me that they feel like home.
Ooh, I love that.
And that there is this really clear, just secure feeling that you receive, even if they are distant. There's something magical in the way that they'll be able to make that connection, that they feel like home and you feel secure, even when things feel distant. That seems to be a key there. So keep that in mind. I also see this vision of you. I don't know why. I don't know your body, your body type, but Spirit just keeps showing me this vision of you having this tight little compact vibe, and you're just kind of squished in this person's arms, and there's something about that feeling that just, I don't know, they keep pulling me to that vision. So it's for what it's worth. Take it for what it is, but I do feel like that energy is entering as the soulmate. So
yeah. And JJ just said I'm focused on one person, so that does make sense. Yeah, it just that's what I'm focused on. Oh, good. Okay, so you picked up on exactly who it was that she was like focused on. That's
safe to say that does seem like the soulmate connection.
Yeah, and I did. I feel like it's like you just have to open that channel. You have to allow this to go through, to go with that flow. And again, you know, when we're coming out of a place, I don't want to say desperation, because I don't feel that you are in a place of desperation. I'm not getting that with you. So I'm going to use that in the very broad sense. But when we come from that place, you know, if like, I want a relationship. Okay, but I'm just going for any freaking relationship, right? Like I'm going to go for the dude off of Tinder. No, I'm not. Like that's crap. You know, like we're not, you know, when we're putting our energy towards what it is, that's where we have that faith and spirit to allow to come through, right? We're allowing that true faith to happen. We're allowing ourselves to let the universe create it. If the person that we're supposed to meet, you know, or the person that we're putting that energy towards, again, within that, you know, that loving sense, that unconditional love, what it is that we're truly wanting, we're talking about God. We're talking about the universe. They can do anything. So they're going to have them appear. You don't need to be, searching freaking dating sites in hopes of, Mr. Big Fish holding that trout is going to be the one, right? Because it's not, it never is, right? Honestly, that's the bottom line, right? We have to, really be, have that faith in what is coming through to us and allow it to happen. So, yeah. Let's move
Beautiful.
on.
You're absolutely right. And especially for soulmates. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Especially for soulmate relationships.
Chances are he's not in a pond, like I said, holding the big fish. That's not your soulmate. I'm just gonna 100% throw that out there. Right?
Are you talking about plenty of fish? Is that what you're talking about?
I am, yeah. That's a disaster I would never go back to. That was 10 years ago. And I was like, yeah, this is not a chance. It's oh, right. No.
All right. Thank you, JJ. So next, Jenny, I've got you on the list here. Just to reiterate that in the chat and here. Again, outside the box, if you are here, you're next. If we don't hear from you by the time we finish with Jessica, we'll have to skip on and move on to Denise. So
I think Jessica did say she was here. She did put.
Jessica's here outside the box.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So thank you, JJ. Our next question comes from Jessica. She said, hello. So I posted a video on social media talking about a good deed that happened today, and he watched it right away. I never post talking videos. LOL. What did he think? Current energy towards me. Thank you.
Okay. I am very close to this situation. So at some point, Mr. Brandon, I'm going to have you also look into the information, because I am already picking up what I feel. Here's the thing. There was a particular TikTok video that I feel that you should be posting as well. And I don't know if that's the same one, but what I kept getting originally from that is I did feel that there was going to be that instant watch, that instant interest, that instant higher vibration that was coming through. And I feel as though the same is with this. Again, I don't know if it's the same particular video or whatever, but what I keep getting is it's almost like this second look. You know, when you're looking at something, and, we've talked about this before, when we're looking at something and we're not quite seeing it for exactly what it is, what happens is all of a sudden you get that switch, because you're seeing somebody in a completely different light. You might seeing them as you're seeing somebody more open, more loving. All of a sudden it's like, holy cow, where did this person come from? And that's the energy that I keep getting from that. So the video I posted was me saying about how before I thought people were self-absorbed and that this was good deed happened. Oh, okay. I still feel that you need to post the TikTok one, but I'm going to leave that alone. But it just feels as though there was a different light looked upon once this video was posted, and it went from something that maybe it doesn't mean that the interest wasn't there, but I'm feeling an energetic higher vibration coming from him almost immediately. It was like, holy cow, I haven't seen her in this light before. It just feels different, and it feels very strong. And I actually am getting an image of him smiling at that same time. It feels as though there is this smile that is coming through, and it's like, it's big, it's dazzling, and it's like, there she is, or something along that line. Did you want to add to that, Brandon?
So I'm not getting a lot of elaborate information, but I do feel what I am getting is impactful, Jessica. So I'll say it as it comes to me. I'm feeling this person as having a strong emotional bond towards you, and that they're feeling quite comfortable in connection with you. There's something very familiar about it. As Kathy was saying, it's like this other perception that's being received right now. And I'm feeling like this actually was perceived at one point. And it's like they're saying or showing me that this is, quote unquote, come back into the light. So that emotional bond feels quite reactive to whatever you posted. And it's like reminding them of who you really are. And there does seem to be an inherent comfortability there. So it feels like a good reaction. It feels like a good thing. And the fact that there already feels like that emotional bond, that feels important as well, that that's being remembered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's almost like, I don't know, it very, like what you just said, it just feels as though it's like looking at the other side of something, or just suddenly a flip or a light switch, or, you know, a flip over of the emotions towards it. And this is why I feel too, is that the more that this is happening, the more you're actually staying within your own beautiful energy and allowing this to go out, because I keep feeling that that light is coming through. It's coming through stronger. And like I said, an energetic, and like Brandon said, energetic shift or an emotional shift that's happening. So, you know, I keep feeling remove that 3D, put it into the 5D, and allow this energy to start really blossoming. Be you, be who you are, be, you know, that true beauty that you have inside and out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's a good affirmation here. I think Jessica kind of already had a hint or an inkling or feeling that something was happening. So I'm glad we can confirm that here.
Yeah. Yeah. Follow those instincts, because I do feel that as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. Outside the box, this is your last call. Last call outside the box. If I don't see you in the chat, we'll be moving on to Denise. So Denise, if you're there, get ready. Dazzled of Empress, I've got you on the list here. I think we'll have to be closing the list now.
Yeah.
Since we've got quite a few people. So Dazzled, you have made the cutoff. All right, outside the box, so sorry. We're going to have to skip over you and move on to Denise. All right. So Denise is asking, what blessings will I be receiving?
Whoa, Denise. Okay.
Such a great question.
Holy, you know, here's, okay, I'm going to have to, as I'm talking, I know I'm going to, I think I'm going to receive some more information, or so there's going to be some more information coming through. As soon as Brandon said your name, I felt like, boom, energy hit. Whew, it was just so strong. Blessings. I feel like a lot of your blessings are coming through on a stronger spiritual level. And I'm also hearing a financial level of some sort. I feel, Denise, I don't know if you have like your own YouTube channel, or if you do readings on your own. You need to get out there, honey. You need to start really promoting this in some way. I keep getting like there is a, I feel like you're holding back somewhere. I don't know exactly where you're holding back. Like, what is it that you're, you know, maybe there's a fear, or maybe there's a energetic holding back of some sort in some manner. But I keep getting that this year, or like as soon as you start opening, I keep feeling like this financial blessings coming through. Oh, okay. Yes, do it. She says, I'm going to start YouTube for readings. Please do. And also let me know where you are, so I can subscribe to you too. This has to come through is what I keep feeling. I feel like you have messages. I feel like you have, it's like Spirit is yelling at me. Tell her that we have messages that we need you to get out, and it's time to start doing it. Like, get your freaking button gear is what I keep getting. Like, and it feels like this is coming from one of your particular guides. This is already a guide that you've already connected with on some level. I feel like you might even have a very close, you know, to some degree, close relationship, even if you don't consciously know exactly who they are. Or maybe you don't have their whole name or anything like that. But I feel it's almost like Oh, I'm going to start channeling. I can just feel that coming through because it's hit me really hard. So what I keep getting here is that there is a particular guide. I want to, this might even, you might even consider it like an angel or a guardian angel of some sort, but this is a guide that is completely coming through. And they're really saying to you, look at, you know what, here's the thing. I've already been listening to you. You've already had some acknowledgement with this particular spirit. It does feel masculine. Okay. However they present themselves to you, I'm not sure, but it is feeling very masculine. And I feel like they're pushing you towards this. Like they have messages that need to get out and you need to start doing this. This is something that you can't hold back on anymore, is what I keep getting. Release the fear. I'm actually getting chills by talking about this. And it feels as though this need, oh, okay. So you've already connected with this. Oh, no, honey, I don't feel it is Hades. No, I don't feel it. Like this particular guide is very energetically uprising. This is a very energetically uprising guide of some sort. And I feel as though they do have those messages that are trying to come through. And it feels as though this is, you do your own channeling. I feel as though a lot of your messages that come through are coming through in a channeling type of way as well. I'm just reading the thing as well. But yeah, meditate to figure it out. But I do feel like this has to go. There is going to be that financial opportunity that is coming from this. This is going to raise you up. It is going to bring in those financial blessings that I feel. It's like, I hear the word reward. I'm not exactly sure what that's talking about. It's like the word reward. So it's like your reward, or this is what you've been waiting for. It's like that reward coming through for all the hard work you've been doing, something along that line. But I do feel that you need to get this channel started. You do need to get yourself out there. Stop holding yourself back. Okay. This is what I'm truly, I'm getting for you. So I hope that that's helped.
So just when I tap in, I am feeling that there is a new opening happening for Denise at this time. I keep feeling that there is some kind of unlocking, and Spirit keeps showing me via intuition. They do show me that there is this, it's like they're showing me this image of the flower that's just spread its bud, and its bud is starting to open up. And it does feel like some kind of new enterprise or new venture. So I do feel that's kind of in line with what's being talked about right now. So I would have to piggyback that and agree here. The vision that I get of you, Denise, is this. I see you. Okay, it's kind of funny, so I want to share it with you. I see you, and you're laying on your side, and you're resting on top of the water, and what's surrounding you are all these beautiful, like, little golden, natural plants and rocks and jewels and things, and I just see you with your finger twirling